Hello YouTubers, 2010 Ford Edge, and today I'm replacing seals on rear diff. In this case it's axle seal. I've just done the other side, so I decided maybe I should take a video about replacing it on driver's side. Should be the same. So I already started this, my apologies, but two nuts on an axle, 1 3/4. Get them off. Of course, get the wheel off first. Next, what we will need to do, spray all the connections with WD-40 because everything is rusted. And now we will go ahead and remove 2 caliper bolts to remove our caliper off, since we will need to take all this wheel assembly out to get the axle out of the wheel bearing. So let me get the caliper bracket bolts out and I'll be back. So the caliper bracket is off. Those are 15mm bolts. So now what we will do next, take the ABS sensor out, that's 8mm, and brake hose bracket 10mm. Let's get that out and push them out of the way. Alright, so ABS sensor is out, same as the bracket. So next what we need to do to support our lower arm was the jack underneath, so the spring is a little bit compressed, and then we will need to remove the bolt on a shock, this bolt, then this bolt, and this one. So most of them, like this one, has the bracket that prevents nut from spinning. So we will work on a bolt head. Same with this. The only thing is this bottom one. You can wrench both sides, either nut or bolt. If on the other side I had issue getting this bolt out, the nut came out, but the bolt I could not, so I had to remove the fender liner, the trim inside the trunk, and remove the shock from the top. But other than that, we should start working in that order. So I'll get the jack, like you can see, it's on the other side right now. I will support our spring and we'll get those bolts removed. Those bolts are 18mm and the nuts are, I believe, 21 or 22. 21 probably. So let me get those out. So this is the shock bolt. This looks quite nice, probably replaced recently. So it came out quite easily. So that's already a big part of the job. So let's try next. So all my bolts are out. So now what I will do, I will take a pry bar, push this out, push this out, push this in, and this all assembly should just swivel away from the car, basically just on this arm. I guess another thing, if you don't have enough swivel room, you can get this sway bar link out too, but on the other side it was quite enough room for me, so we will see how this one goes. So I'll probably need 2 hands, but anyway, I'll get this pried out, then my shock, so there is that cross member in. So let me put my phone down and get this one out. So now basically this thing is loose. So now you just need to get the axle out, what is quite easy now. Okay, to get the axle, so we will bring it up so it's out of the way of the wheel hub. Then we will go to the rear diff, and with this small pry bar just pry it out of the diff. It should come out quite easily. Actually I have to remove the sway bar link, so to keep it in place you need the Allen key 3/16 that goes inside, and then you can just use a wrench on top. 15 mil. Let get me that out. So I had to disconnect that sway bar link, and now the axle is out. So now all I need to do is get out of the vehicle. What is not that easy because I haven't raised it enough, and with the pry bar get this axle out. So there is our seal, and to get the seal out I'll be using the same pry bar. I don't know if I will be able to show you guys, but you just stake the pry bar, grab it on one side by the rubber piece, and then push it out. So this is the old seal and new seal. And the part number is 13757. So to get this seal in, we will need to wipe the diff inside and then use 2-inch socket to hammer it in. This is 2-inch socket, and the seal just is like that. So you just put it in and gently hammer it in until all this metal lip is in touch with the diff. Let me do that. So this is how the new seal in place looks like. So I'll get my axle, put some differential oil on the end, push it in, and we'll assemble it back as it was disassembled. I will let you know if I have any issues or I need to tell you anything about the assembling part, but in general it should be just opposite way as we took everything apart. So I'll be back in a few moments. So one thing guys, whenever you put the bolts back in, use a lot of anti-seize and blue thread lock on the end, because some of those nuts were lock nuts. So you want to make sure that your nut do not get loose. So anti-seize in the middle, blue thread lock at the end. So now when my bolts are in place, I will get them torqued. Those big ones are M12, I believe, grade 10 bolts, so we will torque them to 110 pounds, foot-pounds. And this one is M10, and we will torque it to 80. So I have my caliper torqued, so I torqued those bolts to 100 foot-pounds. Also installed my ABS sensor and brake hose bracket. Now the last thing to do is exle nuts. So the first one goes to 200 pounds, second one 230. So I will do that and will install my wheel. And that should be pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. Do it yourself, guys.